Hello and welcome back to the workshop. It's a really bitter cold day, but I'm doing a custom order on a stick, and it's a deer antler hiking stick. Now I'm going to talk about attaching the deer antler if you've run into issues, i.e. you've had to drill the deer antler out, and I'll just get it. But by drilling it out, you've had to take it out slightly off centre. Now that might not seem a problem, but if the piece of wood that you want to use or stick isn't really wide enough for you allow you to attach it, and have enough room for you to sand and shape it back, what you will find is it could possibly hang too far to the left or right, not allowing you the ability to shape that into the wood or the secondary ring which you might put on if you're going to put a secondary ring. So as you can see, the dowel is slightly offset on this one because my shaft of the wood is almost to the exact dimensions of the actual antler, and there's not a lot of room, so I did not have the ability to do a dead center plug on this. It basically had to match this perfectly to allow it to fit the wood, and I'll find the marks. It's gone on, and as you can see, even at this stage that's pretty tight. There's not a lot of room, so it had to be spot on perfect. Like I said, normally you would just go dead center there, put them down, leaving a small little bit of meat on the actual wood for you to actually bring it back here all in line and match up. But like I said, with this setup I didn't have that ability. So how have I overcome that? I'll show you. Right then, what I've done is get my deer antler, have a look at it, and just work out where the biggest portions of it are, and have a look at my hiking stick and just realise what actual shape this actually is and how it could potentially fit together. Once I had a rough idea, what I would do is put the stick down, then actually get the actual antler, get a piece of tracing paper, very carefully hold it on, trace the outer and inner ring of the deer antler, the inner being the part that you've drilled out and the outer being the circumference of the actual antler itself. You then have a carbon copy on the actual tracing paper. So you can then put this to one side at the moment, and you can now go over and grab your stick. Once you've got your stick, you can have a look around, and you've already deduced what you think is the best profile. Obviously this stick would still be above the dowel, and the top of the dowel would be that flush flat piece of wood. You would then get your tracing paper upended, obviously, move it around on the stick till you are actually happy that you could achieve the best result, as in, shaping the actual finished shaft of the stick to marry up with the actual deer antler, and giving you enough room to do that. Once you're happy, and you may just see that it would go on something like that. You can see that I've actually blacked out the top bit of the plug once I'd done that. But anyway, in any case, you'd put that on, you'd trace it on, and then you'd whittle down. Now, once you've whittled down, you should end up, you should end up with your off-center plug, which allows you to marry up with your off-center hole in your deer antler to allow you to put it together. And where's the mark? Being careful. For it to fit together, fit together, and there you go. It should fit together, and it's not overhanging like by 4 to 5 mil either side of that shaft. So that worked out perfectly for this one. But like I said, if you didn't if I hadn't have done it or employed this method, what would have happened if I'd have gone for a centre of the actual hiking stick here, the actual shaft? What would have happened is this one here would have sat too far to one side, and I would not have been able to shape and pull this in to match the shaft without damaging the antler or just making the shaft look too offset and it wouldn't look right. And yeah, so basically that's the method I use to get a difficult piece of wood, or a piece of wood I want to use to match a piece of antler that I've had to drill out in a slightly less than centre position. That also allows you, this method, to use wood, like I said, a shaft of this nature, wood I wanted to use, although a smaller gauge than what you possibly want, which is too close to the measurement of the deer antler. It allows you to use a greater degree of wood and also a greater degree of deer antlers. So yeah, I hope that little tip helps you if you're about to do a deer antler and you find that you may have to do an off-centre plug to match an off-centre hole. And yeah, traditionally you should go centre to centre and then it goes over. But if you do have to do an off-centre plug, this is the method I employ and it does actually work. So, you know, I hope that helps somebody out if you're out there crafting a hiking stick and, like I said, you're running into the same problems as this. So this is Andy from Hidden Valley Footpaths, and you're in the Folklore Workshop. And I hope to catch you guys out on the trail. So stay safe till next time. Cheers.